All right, we're back with another buggy build video. We got those aluminum pieces broached. So that's what broaching is. Notch out the shaft and this, and then I drilled and tapped little set screws to go in there so it doesn't slide back and forth. Originally, I thought I would have the pillow blocks on top of this. The Miata CV axles that I'm using there, they don't have a whole lot of travel. They're just Miata CV axles. So I'm gonna put it underneath just like that. We're gonna fab up some upper lower control arms and it's gonna look completely different by the end of this video. But I gotta show you guys something pretty cool. Made a purchase again. That looks pretty similar to that one, doesn't it? So this is a 2006 GSXR 1000. That one's a 2007. So this one apparently only has 20,000 kilometers on it. Comes with different exhaust and everything like that. So it was a completed bike. It just didn't have any of the plastics or the front forks. That's fine, I don't need those. And you're probably wondering, what are you gonna put it in? I think I'm gonna put it in my smart car. But there's only one problem with this motor. When I bought this motor, the guy said it, it runs fine and everything, but he didn't have everything. He had the whole harness disconnected and everything. So whatever, I bought it. I brought it home and I drained the oil and there was a ton of metal shavings in the oil, which really sucks. So, but try to look at the positive to every situation. We are gonna tear that motor apart in one of these upcoming videos and I'm gonna order I wanna get forged pistons, forged rods, build it up. I wanna make that smart car have like 300 wheel horsepower. I think that would be nuts. So that smart car is gonna be a completely different build, obviously, but we're gonna get this buggy done and all that stuff, and it's gonna be an upcoming video. It's gonna be good. The more I look at this, the more I just don't like everything being underneath here, because when I build the lower control arms, you want your whole drivetrain to be centered in between the control arms. So that would mean my bottom control arm would have to be like down here. So I think I'm gonna put this on top and then my bottom control arm can bolt there and then my upper one will bolt up here somewhere. I might use different bearings too. I've got different bearings and I can make a plate for the bearings and I can just weld them on and then it's still removable. All right, I've decided. Time to rip it all apart. I'm gonna use the other bearings and we're gonna use the arc droid to cut some custom plates for it. And we'll incorporate a bunch of bars and whatever else. It'll look a lot better anyway. So these are the brackets for the bearings I want to use. What I think I'll do is I'll take a piece of tubing and I'll come off here, I'll come up and I'll 90 over and I'll come to here and then I'll have a piece of tube here, and then I'll have the plate that mounts these bearings right in the middle. It'll be welded all the way around and I should be able to still get the axle in and out. Let's bust the tubing bender out. Bend some tube. Oh yeah. So I kind of messed up. When I made these plates, I made them 5 inches by 5 inches, but it needs to be 6 7/8 by 5 inches. All right, let's try again. Not bad, I just need to grind it down a little bit. I made it a little bit bigger because it's better big than small. I can always take some material off. And I put a little hoop in here too, so I can use this engine mount. I can make some tabs. Yeah, it's looking sweet. It's just tacked in there. Fit pretty good. We'll tack them in and then I want to put some bars here on each side. Then we can install it again. Go back to where we were. Alright, I made some tubes for in here that go on the side. Let's tack them on and then we'll weld the whole thing up and put the axle back in. right, we've got it all welded up. We got the whole drivetrain pretty much in there. I need to make a piece of metal that goes on here for the heim joints to bolt the bolt to for the upper and lower control arms. I drew this because I like to make stuff out of paper first. So all the blue parts is going to be cut out, and then the heim joints are going to be bolted to there, and there's going to be a bracket on the back side of here. So I put this on my arc droid here. I traced her all out. I changed like that middle square and some of these other pieces. I changed them a little bit so it won't look exactly like this, just because as I was tracing it I kind of changed it up to a different way I liked it. We are gonna do a little test cut because I'm going to be cutting this part out of 1/4" steel. So I just got a really thin piece of like 22 gauge or something like that. So we're just gonna cut this part out and see if it looks good. Then we can transfer it over to thicker metal. I just don't want to waste thicker metal, and I have this laying around. So let's see how we do. Great, it turned out pretty good. It went off the material because this piece of material wasn't big enough. That's a pretty good little practice piece. My lead in was a little off on this one. Not bad. Time to cut it out 1/4". Not bad. Middle pieces are really cut out pretty good. But right here, I'm not sure why it didn't cut through. I think it's because this piece probably isn't perfectly level. That's where the torch height control comes in handy. But I don't have that module yet. Ben said he's gonna get it for me, so not bad. Right, it looks a lot better now that it's cleaned up. So that'll get welded onto there. So I'll tack that on and then we'll start building the outside brackets. Got her welded on here. I put the heim joints on for reference. So I need to build a tab that comes flush with this piece. So I'm gonna cut something out of paper, weld to this all the way along here, and it's gonna look kind of like this. And then I'll put a longer bolt in, figure out something for this side. It looks really good. I'm happy with it. It's kind of a different design. I like it. I think it looks pretty sweet. We got to do like the same thing on this side. And I kind of screwed myself with doing this bend. I should have went straight up and over so I could literally do the exact same thing over here. But we're gonna have to figure out how to make a bracket around this bend and everything. We'll figure it out. I was thinking maybe I'll put a tube and it'll come up from there and it'll 90 over to this. It would be an extra support. It gives me a place to mount, like when I build the fuel cell and all that stuff. More places to mount stuff. All right. All I did was take the program on the arc droid, made the exact same bracket, but I just left this notch cut out. So that one will go there, another one will go here. When I'm fitting them up, put the heim joint in here, tighten it up so it holds it right where it needs to be in both. Then I'll slide this rod through, make sure it's level, then we're good to go. Then I'll tack it on, weld it up, and then do the same to the other side. So now we'll start building these control arms. Really nervous because my bends have to be perfect for everything to line up. So what I think I'm going to do, I'll start with the bottom one. Be 2 bends here, 2 bends here. It'll come out in, bend, another bend, and then back. So I'm just gonna get a rough guess of how long. I'll shoot longer, so I don't want to be too short, then it's a waste of material. And I'll measure my halfway point on the metal, and then I'll work off of that. I'll do these two bends first, so it'll kind of come out like this, and then I'll just bring these two bends in. Should hopefully line up with those. I'm really excited, this will look sweet. Well, I messed up. So I just have it in the top ones just for visual, but that one's good, comes around. But this bend should have been up here a little bit more, so it'd go there. What I could do is I could cut a chunk out of here and suck it in a little bit. I could only go so close together with my bends with this tubing bender. If I cut a chunk out and I shorten it, weld it together, I was worried about that being like a weak spot. But it won't be, because when I build the tabs that come off here, I'm gonna make like a custom big bracket. It's gonna box it all in. It's gonna be welded to both pipes anyway. It's gonna be nice and strong. So I might just do that, but I think it looks pretty sweet. Maybe I'll try that and see what it looks like. All right, I did cut it and then weld them together, but I think that looks pretty sweet. Heim joints aren't welded in yet, but moves so nice. I think I'll keep them all the same. When I make the tabs and stuff to mount it onto the knuckle, that's when I'll do my fine tuning and stuff like that to make sure this is perfectly straight this way and this way. I want my tires to be straight. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's make 3 more. Check that out, that's sweet. Control arms are almost done. I just got to add some cross bracing and stuff like that, but I'm not really sure what kind of cross bracing I want. If I'm just gonna like bend a big piece of pipe and just do like a bent piece. And I still got to make tabs for here. That looks pretty sweet. This side, it's not level yet. This side is lower just because the garage is so damn slanted. I like it. She's thick. Back end's pretty thick. And then I'd like to, I want to remake the front. Just remake these control arms, make them wider. Just so it kind of doesn't look so goofy how the back end's so wide. But I think it looks pretty sweet. But that's probably going to be it for this video. Next video, we'll build the tabs and stuff for those rear knuckles. And the hub adapters should be here, so we'll get the wheels on. We'll figure out where we're going to mount the shocks. I'd like to get different shocks, so we'll see what I get. And I got to build a fuel cell and a bunch of other stuff, so give a shout out to Great Western Saw for hooking me up with the arc joint to make cool brackets like that. It's awesome, I love it. Be sure to go check out their website. You can get lots of cool tools like that arc joint. Remember, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But if it isn't upgraded, upgrade it. We'll see you in the next one.